you know you make me float. Boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope, 'cause you.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, as you can tell by the title, you cannot always trust everybody you work with. So let's get into it. So this all happened back in 2021 when I used to work at Kroger, right? And the crazy thing about it is I didn't actually work for the company of Kroger. I worked for this temp agency called a Deco, right? And basically, if you're like, what is a temp agency? It's a business where they will have different type of like jobs lined up. It's usually like warehouse jobs and kind of like little quick stuff, and sometimes it's long term, sometimes it's seasonal. So with that being said, it was a little temporary job, and basically what we did was Instacart inside of Kroger. So I worked the same shift on the same few days. I would work like 4 days a week, and my shift was from 6 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. okay? And like I said, I loved this job down. I loved it so much, and the whole reason for me leaving this job has nothing to do with this story. So let's get into the tea for real. So like I said, I didn't actually work for the company of Kroger. So with that being said, I worked with different type of people in the temp agency, because temp agencies are usually for people who, you know, maybe have a criminal background and they having a hard time finding jobs. And you know, you don't have to have a criminal background in order to use a temp agency, but that is what they're made for. So anyways, I used to work with these women, right? Because most of the people that at my job was women. So anyways, I was working with these different women, and like I said, we would basically do Instacart. We would go around the store and pick up people groceries or whatever, and it would be in like little sessions. So say for example, you had your grocery scheduled to be picked up at 10. At 6 a.m. we is walking around the store trying to pick up your stuff, and we would have it packed up and ready by 8 a.m. so it can be taken and shipped to your house. So anyways, while working at this job, you know, you intermingle in with the people who work at Kroger, because, you know, you're working right alongside with them. Of course, y'all don't work for the same company, but you get familiar with the people you work around, and, you know, you just get to know the different people, right? So it was this guy that worked for the company Kroger, and I had always thought he was cute, but I never talked to him. I would just kind of, you know, look and mind my business, just because, you know, like I said, like, I thought he was cute. So I kind of just was like, okay, like, I'm gonna stay away from him, because, you know, things don't ever turn out good with men that I find attractive. And I should have listened to that sentiment. So anyways, long story short, I was working there for a few months, right? And the guy that I thought was cute randomly was asking me about my job, and, you know, asking us how much we got paid, because at the time we got paid a lot more than the employees at Kroger. I don't know how much they get paid now, but at the time, the people who worked at Kroger, who literally did the same stuff as us, they was getting paid $9.50 an hour, while me and my coworkers was getting paid $14 an hour. And we even got holiday pay, so during the holiday season we was getting paid $17 an hour, so we was making money. And he was like, you know, I love working at Kroger, and I don't necessarily want to leave my job. I like the commute, I like everything about it, but I need more money. So, you know, are y'all hiring, right? So I tell him, like, yeah, we're always looking for people, whatever. All you gotta do is just fill out this link and send this email your resume, right? So anyways, a couple weeks go by, and I asked him about it, like, hey, did you ever submit your stuff? And he was like, no, just because, you know, I've never made a resume before, and I've only ever had 2 jobs. So that's another thing, like, I don't know if they'll take me. And I'm telling him, like, you know, just apply, because you literally work for the company of Kroger, and you're doing the same stuff that we're doing, so it's not going to be an issue for you to get the job. And also too, even though yes, you only had 2 jobs, you know, both of them was in the grocery store industry, so it's just kind of like you were gonna get the job anyways. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna fill up, like, make a resume, whatever. So while, you know, like I said, we intermingling with the different employees at Kroger, I'm getting to know my coworkers, and I get really cool with this one girl. And the thing about her is that her and her mom both worked with us, and her mom was really cool, and the daughter was cool, or so I thought. So anyways, long story short, a week after I had told him, like, you know, just get your resume filled out, whatever, I asked him again, like, you know, did you get it all, like, settled? And he was like, no, I still haven't made a resume, like, I kind of need help. So I was like, okay, well, if you ever need any like advice on what to say and how to fill it out, like let me know. I got you. Like I can help you with that. So then one day, randomly, he hit me up and was like, hey, like I know it's kind of last minute, but do you think, you know, you could help me with my resume? And I was like, yeah. And mind you, this particular day I had just got my hair done, okay? I had got a frontal, y'all. My thing was laid to the gods. If I could find a video or any pictures, I'm gonna try to put it up in here. But anyways, hair was laid to the gods. So anyways, we go and head to Panera Bread, and I go and I help him fill out his resume, right? So after we, you know, fill it all out and he get everything how he wanted to have it, he then was like, oh, you know, what you about to do? I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm just gonna go home. I only live like 15 minutes away, so it ain't really nothing. Like, I'm about to order me an Uber and go home. So then he was like, oh, no, like, let me give you a ride. Like, you help me with my resume. Like, that's the least I could do. And, you know, I should have just been like, nah, I'm gonna take an Uber. But like I said, I thought this guy was cute, and I was just kind of like, you know what, whatever. Like, I don't have to even pay for an Uber. I don't gotta wait. Like, I just want to go home, whatever, whatever. So we in the car, and this man started flirting with me, right? So I'm flirting back because I'm like, oh my God, like, he fine, whatever, whatever. So long story short, we ended up doing what grown folks do, right? And so he dropped me off at home. He go about his business, right? So then I come back to work, and I keep it to myself for a little bit because, you know, I'm not gonna just be jumping to be like, yeah, me and so was together, whatever, whatever. So anyways, one day me and old girl was talking, and this has like been a few weeks, and we was talking about like the different guys at our job, and I felt a little too comfortable, and I told her that me and him did the 1-2-1-2, right? So mind you, she was the only person I had told this at work. Next thing I know, like a week or two later, mind you, at this point, old girl and her mom had quit because for some reason the mom had like got really sick. And so once the mom got really sick, the daughter and her just, you know, quit and, you know, just stopped coming to work. So I don't know, like that was their reasoning for quitting, but whatever, that's besides the point. So anyways, a couple weeks go by when one of my coworkers pulled me to the side that I'm really cool with, and she was like, girl, like, I'm gonna ask you this because, you know, we cool, and I just want to know what's going on. She was like, did you and so ever get together? Mind you, she talking about this whole other guy, and for the sake of the story, the boy that I did the 1-2-1-2 with, we're gonna call him Jordan, right? So anyways, she was like, you know, I'm hearing that you and old boy have something going on. Mind you, it's not about Jordan. It's about this random guy that is Jordan's coworker. We're going to call Jordan's coworker Martin. Mind you, the whole time that I'm working at this job, me and Martin have never had a conversation. Like, the most that I've said to him was like, hi, or even, hey, can you help me with this? Because sometimes, you know, when you do like self-checkout at any store, sometimes if you're scanning too fast or if you feel like you didn't put it in the bag hard enough, it will go off. So, you know, I would call him over like, hey, can you help me with my machine, whatever, whatever, so I can finish my order. So that's the most we've ever talked about, right? So she asking me like, you know, did you and Martin get together? And I'm sitting here like, no, like I don't even talk to that man. Like, I don't even know his name. Like, to this day I still never knew that man's name. That's why his name is Martin, okay? So anyways, I'm like, girl, like, where are you getting this from? And she was like, well, word on the street is that you and Martin did the 1-2-1-2, and everybody been talking about you at Kroger. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm kind of like shitting bricks because I'm like, not only is there a rumor going around about me, but I'm like, also, it ain't even true. That was the messed up part is I was just kind of like, damn, like, yes, I did do the 1-2-1-2 with a coworker, but it was not that man. And like I said, me and him barely ever exchanged words, and I didn't even think he was attractive. So I was kind of like, dang, I feel so tried, like, that y'all would even think that it's him. So I, you know, I clear my name to her and I tell her, no, me and him didn't do it, but me and Jordan did. Like, that's the person I messed with, but I ain't messed with that man. So anyway, she's like, you know, what you gonna do? Are you gonna clear your name? Whatever, whatever. I said, well, no, because, you know, with rumors, people are gonna believe what they want to believe anyways. And I just was kind of like, what do I look like going to everybody and being like, you know, I didn't mess with Martin. It was actually Jordan. Like, I don't care. Like, people are going to think what they want to think regardless. So let's let them think that it's Martin. Who cares? And because also, too, I feel like people aren't bold enough to ask you that kind of stuff, you know? So I said, if you're not asking me about it, you'll never know the true answer. So anyway, she like, girl, no, like, you need to clear your name. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't really care. So then it was this other girl that I was like real tight with. Like, out of all the people that I got real cool with at this job, me and this one girl, we're gonna call her Alicia. Me and Alicia was tight, okay? I'm talking about we would hang out outside of work tight. And it's crazy because along like a few weeks down the road of us getting to know each other, I ended up finding out that I knew her mom way before I knew her. Because long story short, her mom used to work at the old college that I used to go to, and she worked in the cafeteria, and I would always be in that cafeteria all the time. So I was real familiar with her, and that's what just made me love the girl even more. But anyways, Alicia one day comes to me and was like, you know, I need to talk to you about something. Woo-de-woo-woo. And mind you, this is like early in our friendship. Like, we still getting to know each other, whatever. Like, we just exchanged numbers not too long ago. So she was like, you know, I want to ask you a question. I was like, okay, like, what's up? What's tea? She was like, did you and Martin have something going on? Whatever. And I'm like, Martin? Mind you, I don't even know who the guy name is because I never heard it, never knew who he was. So I was like, who is that? So she started describing him, and I'm like, girl, no, I ain't mess with that man. I was just like, I mess with Jordan. I ain't mess with that man, though. I was just like, I don't even know him. Like, you know, why are you asking me that, though? And like I said, my other coworker had already told me there was a rumor going around. So I was just acting clueless, like I didn't know. Like, I didn't give a fuck. But I knew it was going around. She was like, well, people been talking about you and saying that y'all had something going on and y'all did the 1-2-1-2. And I was like, well, no, that's not the case. And I was like, he's not even attractive to me. Like, I don't know that man. I don't talk to that man. I don't have no reason to talk to him besides the fact of, oh, good morning, and hey, can you help me at this register? That's about it. And I was just like, why? Is that your man or something? And she proceeds to tell me, oh, he not my man, whatever. Like, he wanted to talk to me, he want to mess with me, but I don't really care to mess with him. But I just was trying to make sure, because if you was messing with him, I was going to cut you off, whatever. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, that's kind of crazy that you're literally saying you don't want him and you're not checking for him, but you was about to cut me off for hypothetically messing with a man that you said you didn't want. And I'm not saying that it would have made it right if I did mess with him, but again, I didn't even know that they had anything going on prior to that. And also, I was just kind of like, girl, like, even if something were to happen, or if it did happen prior to this conversation, we never discussed that you and him was going together, because like I said, me and her had just started being friends. Like, so it was just kind of crazy that she was even trying to like press me about a guy that she was saying like so hard that she didn't want. And you know, I kind of like just like brushed it aside and swept that kind of under the rug, because I was just like, okay, well, that was a misunderstanding. But I always thought that was kind of weird. And even the guy, Jordan, one day he randomly like called me, and I remember this day vividly. I was literally about to go get my hair braided, and he called me and he was like, hey, can I talk to you? And I'm like, talk to me about what? And he was like, did you tell anybody that we messed with each other, whatever? And I was like, no, like why are you asking me that? And of course I was lying that ass off, because at that point it had been like 3 weeks since it had happened, and like I said, people was, you know, talking about it at work. And so anyways, I'm like, nah, I didn't tell nobody. Like, why? He was like, well, you know, people have been saying that you messed with one of the people that work here or whatever, and you know, I'm just like trying to, you know, not have it be known that it's me. And I was like, well, first off, bitch, I was just like, you know, if you're embarrassed by me, you shouldn't have messed with me, okay? Because I feel like, why mess with people that you're not, you know, taking some pride in. Like, I'm not saying you gotta show me off, because if we're not dating or in a relationship or whatever, like, I'm not saying you have to do that. But I feel like, you know, don't be ashamed that you mess with me, because bitch, I'm the prize, not you, nigga. Remember that. So I was just kind of like, you know, baby, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. And I was just like, did you say something? I was like, did you tell people? And I was just like, because I was just like, I got people coming to me saying stuff to me. And mind you, like I said, everybody was saying that I was messing with Martin. They didn't even bring up Jordan. So I was just kind of like, nobody's even bringing you up. Like, you're not even brought up in the story at all. Like, people think I'm over here messing with your homeboy Martin, which is not the case. And he's like, okay, like, I just trying to figure out because, you know, I don't want it to get out. And I'm like, bitch, like, don't do that. Don't do that. And after that situation, I was like, you know what? I'll never mess with people at work. And I'll never get too comfortable with people at work either. Like, you know, I'm still going to be my true self. But I was just like, you know what? Let me make sure I watch what I say to people, because they're going to always find a way to go behind your back and be fishy. And that sentiment has not proven me wrong yet. Because after that, like I said, I wrap that up on messing with people at work, because it don't bring me nothing but trouble. But yeah, I wanted to tell y'all that story, because that story was just so crazy to me at that time. And I was just like, I really can't believe that happened. And I was at that Kroger earlier tonight, and I was like, you know what? That reminded me of that story, so let me go tell my little story. But this is, like I said, a reminder: do not mess with people at your job. I repeat, do not mess with people at your job. But with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. If y'all want to see more story times, hit them comments. Let me know what y'all want to see. Bye, guys.